It was a boring Tuesday night, and it was an unusually warm night, and I was alone. Alone at home, eating a warm bowl of pasta in front of the television, expecting nothing, thinking of nothing except of what was going on in front of me. A night alone. Nothing more. A sound. A knock at the door. I turned my head in the direction of the door and yell, "I ain't interested. Fuck off." I wasn't in the mood for companionship. Silence. Brief, another set of knocks, thrice in rhythm. "Dude, I said no. Leave before I call the damn cops." So I yelled again. Silence again, followed by 3 knocks. I muttered, swearing under my breath and placing my food on a nearby table, and got up from my seat, leaving the TV on as I went to the door. More knocks at the door. "I said no," I said as my hand reached for the knob. "What the f—" A man stood before me, sharply dressed in a slick-looking hat. He was dressed in a suit and met my gaze with a small grin on his lips. "Oh, what are ye—" "Good evening. I thought I was going to be knocking all night," he says, interrupting me. "Perchance have you come upon the map? Do you have it with you?" I say nothing, not recognizing the man before me or understand whatever he said. "Are you all right?" "Do you have the map?" he asks again. What map?" I struggle to say, my lips and mind not in sync as I struggled with words. "The map," he says with a smile. "Do you have it? What are you even on about? Who are you?" "Doesn't matter who I am. What matters is if you have the map." "What map?" I yell back. "Why are you knocking on my door at 11 p.m.? "It's because of the—" "I don't know of any map." "So that's a no then?" I raised my arms and shrugged. "Look, you're wasting my time and my weekend. I'll just say no so you can just get out of here and leave me alone." The sharply dressed man grinned, nodded, and tipped his hat to me. "That's a shame. I thought you've received it by now," he says as he placed his hat back on his head. "Never mind. Pardon the intrusion, sir. Have a good evening." He turned to walk away, walks off my porch and turns around, waving at me with a gentle hand. "Good evening. Stay safe for what's to come. Keep safe now." "What is this?" A sharp sound, shattering glass and a spark in the air. I turned my gaze to the living room and then back to the strange man. He was gone. I know. I rushed back to the living room, pushing the door behind. Slamming closed as I got back to the room. There was an ugly crack in the middle of the TV screen. Glass all over the carpeted floor and exposed wires sticking out of the LED. "Damn it, why?" I muttered to myself. "Now I gotta clean this f—" Another sound. A thump. A loud, heavy thump that emanated from the front door. Like something was thrown against it. I froze in place. What now? Returning to the front door, I pulled it open expecting the strange man to be standing in front of me, but he wasn't. There was no one save for a jet black duffel bag by my feet. I bent down and slowly unzipped it, curiosity taking hold before common sense. There was a gun inside of it. Among other things, as I gently rummaged through the bag, a large silver revolver, a small plain white box the size of a Rubik's Cube, a bottle of some liquid that smelled foul, and a handwritten note on creamy white paper. The note read, "This should help for the night. The gun is already loaded. Keep safe, do us proud." The gun was heavy. The small box rattled as I shook it, and the bottle sloshed in place. I opened the box. It contained several bullets, presumably for the revolver. The gun was indeed loaded, and with the basic knowledge I have about guns, I could tell it was live. The hammer was already pulled back. I bring the bag in, closing the door, locking it and putting the bag on the first few steps of the staircase that led to my room, and began to inspect the bottle with the strange liquid. The liquid was nearly pitch black, like coffee or soy sauce in a clear glass bottle. The liquid had an oil-like sheen on it, and there was a faded-out label on the bottle cap, just visible enough to read it. Deterrent. Deterrent? For what? A sound. I jumped and nearly dropped the bottle. Upstairs? What now? Ringing, loud in the silence. The phone? I grabbed the bag by its handles and ascended the stairs. The ringing continued. It was indeed emanating from my room. I opened the door to my room, switch on the light, placed the bag on my bed, and promptly picked up the receiver. No one on the line save for a robotic phone voice. "Please put on loudspeaker to proceed," it said coldly. "Please put on loudspeaker to proceed." "Nope," I say to myself. Fuck this, whatever's happening. I slam the receiver and silence fills the room, only to be broken in an instant by a high-pitched noise that made me wince. Ah! I cry out. What? It sounded like static or feedback from a loudspeaker. It emanated from the telephone's loudspeaker. Good evening, ladies, gents, and however you identify as. Are we ready for tonight's event? A voice emanated from the speaker of the phone. He had the tone of a TV show host, like someone out of Jeopardy! Or The Price is Right. Cheers followed the voice like a TV audience just out of reach. I recognized the voice. It was the strange man from earlier. Tonight we have a young man named... Kid, what was your name again? The strange man on the phone asked me. I pulled the landline out of the phone and it continued. Hey, I'm asking you your name. How is this? Never mind names. Let's call you Jack. You look like a jack. The strange man's voice retorted. Laughter and applause followed. Cheery sounding under different circumstances, but unnerving as of now. Tonight we have Jack, ready to participate in tonight's game. The voice continued. He had just received his welcome package and seems to be ready to play. Play? What are you on about? I yell, feeling slightly silly as I spoke to an unplugged phone on loudspeaker. The game. Nearly 4 million is at stake tonight, the voice replied. And Jack here tonight doesn't have the map. Oohs and ahs erupted from the unseen crowd behind the strange call. That means the prani will be doubled. We all know that going mapless is a brave move. And we here do appreciate brave players, don't we? Applause and cheers followed. The rules are simple, Jack. Survive. A chill went down my spine. Survive? Yes, survive. There are no rules. There is no time frame to meet, but we do appreciate. If you were to wrap it up soon as possible. We all have work in the morning after all. Laughter this time from the audience. Survive and make sure the final blow is from the gun in the bag. Otherwise, no prize money. My gaze falls onto the bag on the bed, the gun glinting in the bedroom light. Of course, since there are no rules except survival, that also applies to your target, the voice said with a chuckle in the end. Tonight's target is a Prowler, a skittish little thing that had taken down our last player in just 10 minutes flat. Can you outlast it, Jack? I couldn't muster a reply. A game? Survival? A Prowler? What the hell is going on? You have a total of 12 shots, Jack. 6 in the gun and 6. The box. Make sure to save one for that noggin of yours, the voice says with a dark chuckle, just in case the Prowler comes too close for comfort. Laughter erupted. A mix of anger, confusion, and fright suddenly boiled within me. I picked the phone up and threw it, colliding with the bookcase a few feet away. The phone shattered into pieces and knocked down a book, a copy of The Island of Dr. Moreau. I found myself breathing hard. My head ached and I felt my world spinning. I took a seat on the edge of the bed and began to box breathe. Inhale, count to 4, exhale. I did this thrice. I felt slightly better soon after. What is going on? I must be asleep, dreaming surely. I felt my pocket vibrate and ring. My phone. I forgot it was in my pocket the whole time. A text. Let the game begin, Jack. Crash. The sound of glass shattering downstairs. I shot up from my seat and froze, dropping my phone on my bed. I grabbed the revolver, undid the hammer and held it close to my chest. Hesitantly, I left my room, leaving the door open and slowly going down the stairs. I could see some shards of glass by the base of the staircase. Something broke the window from the kitchen. I walked down the stairs as noiselessly as possible, holding the gun close to my right thigh, pulling back the revolver's hammer gently until I heard a soft click. I got to the base of the stairs and peered within the kitchen dining area. The light was still on. Broken glass was strewn everywhere. The toaster, the microwave, and the few other things I used to make myself dinner lay scattered on the floor and counter. The window above the sink was smashed open from the outside. I heard a noise, a growl, a low droning that almost sounded like a crocodile's hiss. A shape flit past my peripheral vision, something tail-like. I yell, point the gun forward and pull the trigger. The revolver goes off. A force sends my forearms upwards and I end up putting a hole into the fridge. I stood there, breathing heavily, ears ringing and gun smoking from the tip. I missed. My senses return. I run to the smashed open window, minding the glass everywhere, and yelled for help. But I froze before my potential egress. I stuck my head out and felt a chill run through my body. darkness outside. Pitch blackness, dark like a starless expanse of night. No nearby house, street, or lamppost. Only a cold wind and distant noises that I did not recognize. My phone vibrated and rang again. I went back inside, placed the gun on the counter, and pulled my phone out. Unknown said the called ID. I picked it up, put it on loudspeaker, and spoke, entertaining the lunacy that I found myself in. What the hell's going on? Get me out of this shit. No can do, Jack. You need to play the game. You already wasted one bullet. Make the rest count. Cheers, laughter, and applause erupted once more. Don't try to escape too. You saw how it is. And no one likes the dark, right, Jack? Oohs and ahs from the crowd. Go to hell, I say. I'm not playing your hunt or whatever this is. Too late, Jackie boy. You need to see it to the end. Both of you are players. Both of you are eligible to win the grand prize. The voice said with showmanship. Bye for now. We'll be watching. But first, these messages from our sponsors. Music began to play, static began to fill the call before dropping out entirely. Placing the phone on the counter, I took the gun as I heard a blood-curdling sound. It was nothing I've ever heard. Before, it sounded like a wolf's howl with the unsettling laughter of a hyena. Come on, I say with bravado. Show your face so I can put a bullet in it and end this. Bravado became fear, which became anger, before becoming fear again, all in the span of a few seconds. I never expected my night to become this. I took a few steps back. Glass crunched behind me. A warmth down my neck. Wait. Something hits me square in the back. I found myself flying forward and hitting the fridge face first. The gun flies out of my hand, landing just beyond my peripheral vision. I yell in pain. Feel the wind get knocked out of me as a warm liquid began to trickle down. My forehead and eyes. Blood. I could taste some as I dripped down my face and onto my lips. Blood obscured my vision. I wiped it away with a shaky hand and tried to view my assailant. It was nearly impossible. My vision was blurry due to my injury. My head hurt as I looked at the thing before me. It was as if I could not fully comprehend it. All I could recognize were long, human-like arms that ended with eagle-like talons. Arms that were an inky black, almost like leather, and were nearly as long as my own body. They bent unnaturally as the creature slowly advanced towards me. The creature's face was unrecognizable, seemingly a mesh of teeth, tendrils, and fur. God! I found myself screaming as I tried to reach for the gun, which lay just beyond my reach. One of its hands pulled my left ankle, and my arms flailed to get the gun. No. I reach it. I clasped the gun in my left hand and pointed it to the creature and unloaded the firearm. Until the gun went click, I was unsure if all had hit it. My vision was obscured and my eyes pounded with pain. But I heard a yelp, and the creature's grip loosened until I managed to pull my leg away. It turned around and ran. I heard it go upstairs, damaging the wood staircase as it went. I could hear it creak and smash its way upstairs. Yeah, you better Pain. My leg bled slightly and I wiped the blood off my face with my forearm. I unchambered the gun and let the casings fall out. Smoke gently wafted out of the chamber. Damn it, I say to myself as I got to my feet, adrenaline coursing through my body. The rest of the bullets were upstairs. I had to finish it. I could kill it. Getting to my feet, I saw a blood trail. Small puddles of iridescent gray liquid that almost looked like oil. Injured? Good. With the empty gun in hand, I picked up a forearm-length steel bar from the floor. It was the thing that held the curtain above the sink. It fortunately ended with a sharp tip. This is going into your face, I cried out. With a small limp and blood still running down my face, I followed the trail upstairs, carefully navigating the now damaged staircase. The blood trail led to my room, of course. I pushed the door open and saw the thing sitting in the corner of the room, near the shattered telephone and the bookcase. It was bleeding out of its face. It was unrecognizable. My gaze fell onto the duffel bag, containing the bullets and the deterrent. Get the hell out of my room, I say, and foo. The creature leapt forward unexpectedly, and with the same unexpected agility, I jumped to my right, avoiding slamming my head into the nightstand. I got to my feet and grabbed the bag. The creature regained its footing, turned to me and opened its eldritch maw. Without thinking, I grabbed the bottle and threw it at the creature. The bottle shattered. The creature yelped, and the sound of sizzling liquid filled the room. The creature twitched, fell back, and seemingly yelled in pain. The deterrent. Wait, the gun? I immediately scramble for the bullets, loading the gun with a shaky hand. Come on, come on, come on, I say to myself. Shit! One of its arms grabbed my leg again. I stabbed it with the makeshift spear I found downstairs. The grip loosened. I pull my leg back to myself. It was fully loaded. I slammed the chamber in. Pull the hammer back. Raised my right arm forward and the creature bites my arm in full. I feel dozens of sharp points enter my flesh. I growl in pain and yell as I began to empty the gun into its throat. 6 shots echoed out as I yelled a primal scream. I felt the heat of the gun burn my hand and the force of the bullets escape. 6 sickening noises came from within its body. And the wall behind the creature was painted in its iridescent blood. The gun clicked thrice and I stopped. The creature slumped dead and pulled my arm down. With the makeshift spear, I put it inside its maw, pried it open and pulled my arm out, leaving the gun inside. My arm was still attached. Triangular wounds lined the area where my arm bent and it was soaked in its innards. I found myself panting and then laughing. A loud ringing broke my laughter. The phone I threw earlier now rang, which now lay conveniently beside me, most likely pulled by the creature as it leapt for me. I didn't press anything and the phone answered itself. In the loudspeaker, I heard cheers, applause, and voices of people chant my name. Noises you'd hear from the victorious end of a basketball game. You hear that, Jack? That's all for you. And yay, my dear boy, you have won. Congratulations, the voice said. And since you managed to survive, and managed to empty all 6 bullets into its face, the prize money is now doubled and you get a special something to patch yourself up before heading to the hospital. Cheers and laughter. No need to hear anything from you. Rest up and soak in the victory. You earned it. Maybe next time you'll need the map for the next round, am I right, Jack? The voice said. Your prize should be there soon, but aside from that, have a good evening and thank you for being a great sport. Cheers, applause, and then silence. There was a knock at the door. Might as well check it. Limping and bleeding my way downstairs, I get to the front door. With a bloody hand, I pull the knob open, and I'm greeted by a normal evening outside. No darkness, no cold wind, just a quiet night and a sedan driving by. Another duffel bag greeted me. I bent down slowly, unzipping the bag slowly, expecting another gun. The bag was fully opened. My eyes widened. Wads upon wads of money. Fresh bills that felt smooth to the touch as I briefly counted them with shaky, injured hands. There was nearly 8 million in here. There was a first aid kit here as well. That's nice. I sat down before the money-filled bag, chuckled to myself, and unexpectedly locked eyes with a man walking his dog as they walked past my porch. He froze and mouthed, "Oh my God," before pulling his phone out. "Hello, 911. I heard him say. I zoned out at the rest. I found myself laughing, and for a while the pain vanished. Maybe tonight wasn't as bad as I thought it was. A Tuesday night alone with 8 million, nothing more.